there are reports out that JJ Redick, that the Lakers, according to the Athletic, that the Lakers are very, very high on JJ Redick, and that they even think he could be their next Pat Riley. Not only a great coach now, but a guy that, could be great for them for years and years and years to come. Rob Parker, your thoughts?
I'm just not buying that. I mean, the Lakers, first of all, when Pat Riley took over, look at that roster, Chris. And then Magic Johnson showed up.
Pat Riley was a broadcaster.
He was right. I get it.
And then became the assistant coach, Rob, for Paul Westhead. And then, they fired Westhead.
Him and Magic got into it, right?
Magic didn't like the way they were playing. Westhead wanted to overcoach.
And Chris, didn't they have a great with Westhead the year before?
No, they won the championship with Westhead. He was the coach.
I didn't realize he was the coach when they won. Okay,
he was the coach when they won. When Magic was a rookie.
I knew he was there when they were really good, but I didn't realize he was there.
No,
when they
he was
won.
actually the coach.
Okay,
and then the next year, he started overcoaching. And Rob, remember they got beat in the first round by Houston. Now, and you're gonna laugh. You may already know this, but it was the best of 3 series.
Right.
So back then, anything could happen in a two out of 3.
Chris, I remember I was covering the NBA back then when the series were like that. I'm telling you,
well, did they have 3-game series when you covered?
Yes.
I remember when it was 5 in the first round.
I covered, Chris. I started covering, and I can look it up. But I started covering the NBA in 1987, and I can remember the Nets being in a 2 out of 3 playoff, like a 2 out of 3 game series.
Right.
I think it was 1987, Chris. Check it out. But I remember it, and then it changed to 5, and then it changed to 7, later on. Yeah. Am I right or wrong with the dates?
You said 87?
Yeah, I started at the Daily News in 1986, so the 86-87 season.
Well, they were bad. 86-87, they only won 24 games.
Okay.
The year before that, the year before that, 86, they lost the first round 3-0.
Yeah, okay.
No, but that would be best of 5. 3-0.
Oh, 3-0.
They were
okay.
swept by the Bucks.
I thought it was 3 games. So maybe it was before that.
Yeah, it was before that when they changed it. But anyway, so here's my take on this, Rob. First of all, just keeping it real with y'all from 30 years of covering the NBA. You can't predict who's going to be a good coach. You want guys that are qualified, meaning they've got experience or they were because of their playing career, you think that they, can be great coaches. Because we've seen Mark Jackson, who was a very good coach. Phil Jackson had assistant coaching experience. Steve Kerr had no head coaching experience, and obviously is one of the best coaches ever. And who's the other guy I'm thinking about, Rob, that had no coach? Larry Bird. Larry Bird did a great job with no coaching experience, Rob.
Yeah, but he had two great assistants.
Yeah, that's fine, but he was the head coach.
And he did, he was.
Right, he knew how to manage them. And so you should be qualified for one reason or the other. But, Rob, it's hard to tell. And you do your best with interviews and, trying to gauge the guy's personality. But it's difficult, and I say that because, Rob, we've seen guys who were really highly touted assistants. I mean, Darvin Ham, now, who we think did a solid job, shouldn't have been fired.
They won the in-game tournament. They went to the Western Conference Finals. Chris, that was all within 6 months.
Right. So we don't think he should have been fired, but the fact is he was. And Darvin Ham was a highly touted assistant. And yet 2 years after getting his first job, and to your point, doing what we thought was a really good job, he's fired.
Right.
Remember Mark Ivoroni?
Yes.
Everybody thought Ivoroni was going to be the next great head coach. He was assistant in Phoenix. Did he play
at Syracuse?
I don't know where he played in college, but I feel like saying Virginia, but I don't know.
Okay.
But he played for the Sixers in the league. But he was supposed to be this great guy's going to be a great head coach. and he got his shot and he wasn't. So it's hard to tell who will be great. And Rob, players that you would have thought Steve Nash would have been a good head coach. I mean, obviously knows the game.
He was a floor leader,
smart
point
player.
guard.
Yeah,
Chris, he could see the floor.
Rob had the stars on his side, Kyrie and KD.
They signed off on him. They wanted him.
And he failed miserably. Derek Fisher, now he didn't get a great, opportunity with the Knicks. They weren't a good team.
But he had a lot of stuff going on, too.
He failed miserably.
He had a lot going on, Derek Fisher. Remember that during the Knicks turn. It just was – coaching didn't seem like it was number one at that point.
Well, yeah. But still, he failed. I mean, the guys have a lot going on probably when they players, too. Ime had a lot going on.
But it was public. But
he was, So I'm just saying so it's hard to tell. Now, when I look at JJ Redick, Rob, I do think he knows the game. He sounds very smart about the game, and what he breaks down on TV is good. He seems to have a strong personality, which I think is necessary as a head coach. And so, those are pluses. There's no way you can say he's going to be the next Pat Riley. We didn't know Pat Riley would be the next Pat Riley, if you will. Right? He was an announcer. They remember when they gave him that job, they wanted Jerry West to be the head coach. And Jerry West didn't want it. And was saying Riley's going to be the head coach. It was a whole mess. And so nobody saw that coming for Pat Riley. But what I will say, Rob, and I've said it before, Riley, Phil Jackson, Steve Kerr, mediocre players. Now, Kerr hit some big shots. If you want to say he was a little better than mediocre, okay, he was a great
he was on a championship team. He made
shots.
He
won championships, right. But they weren't stars. They were role players. And I just wonder, maybe it's just me, but JJ Redick is just retired 3 years ago. Dudes remember dunking on him. Dudes remember hunting him on defense that he couldn't D, right? And you could say, well, what about Riley and Phil Jackson and Kerr, those guys? Yeah, but they were a generation before. When they started head coaching, they had been retired a little bit longer. Most of the guys that they played against were gone. Riley was 36 when he started head coaching, but they retired earlier back then. He retired at 30. I don't know, could that be an issue? But even bigger than that, though, Rob, we've now heard several players. We just heard Olden Polynice. We heard Udonis Haslem. Them say because I don't think LeBron is like pushing the Lakers to hire JJ Redick. I don't think LeBron's really that involved with this. But
I disagree.
If they hire JJ Redick, the perception, not only publicly, but even among players in that locker room, may be they hired your boy. And are you really coaching? And so there's that. Paul Pierce said, JJ Redick's like an Instagram model. Looks all great, but when you get him, really get to see him at coach, he's not going to be that good. And so a lot of disrespect coming kind of from some players, and then questions about would he really be in charge. I'll say this, Rob. Is this a great situation for JJ Redick?
Well, let me say this, Chris. In no way is the Pat Riley, JJ Redick comparison vaguely close, Chris. Not at all. We talked about it. Pat Riley took over a team that won a championship, right? That was already put together and constructed. The Lakers are on a different island with an aging superstar. They had a healthy AD and a healthy LeBron and couldn't advance. And they're only getting older as we go on.
But that's the team.
Here's my warning.
That's not JJ versus Pat. You know what I mean?
No, but here's my warning. Well, but I'm just saying.
Like, why do you say he can't? I don't know. I'm not saying he can't
I'm
be
going to
Pat
tell you
Riley.
why.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm trying to get
who
to.
knows?
JJ Redick reminds me of when the Lions fell in love with Matt Millen. Matt Millen was on television, Chris, talking like football was the end all, like he knew it backwards, forwards. People were enamored. Matt Millen's gift of gab with football was so good. He could talk the blank off of nuns. I mean, he was just unbelievable. People were eating up. Matt Millen knows more football than anybody. And here we are with JJ Redick because he was on First Take and he's doing some NBA basketball. He sounds so smart. It doesn't mean, Chris, automatically that you're going to be able to transfer that over. That's my big thing.
It doesn't mean he's Matt Millen either, but I'm just saying.
No, but I'm saying he reminds me of the Matt Millen phenomenon. I'm just going by what I remind me of.
You could have said that about Doc Rivers because people loved when he was a broadcaster. Mark Jackson. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I hear you.
It's my gut. Yeah. I'm just giving you, when I'm going to tell you this. It's not a second guess. When the Lions hired Matt Millen, me and my radio partner back in Detroit were against it. And we were against it because he didn't have the experience that the Lions wasn't a franchise to have somebody learn on the job. And when it comes to the Lakers,
I agree with you there.
LeBron is he's long in the tooth, Chris. His career's coming to an end. This is not to have a guy where this could blow up in a year or the players could have a mutiny or people question what's going on in the organization and this come undone and waste the season of LeBron. This is not a good idea because of what could go wrong.
Well, that's what you're kind of alluding to what I said about, is this even good for JJ Redick, Rob? Because they aren't, they're not, the Nuggets smashed them. And then the Nuggets got beat. Like, OKC's going to be better next year. Dallas is going to be, like, the Lakers aren't going to be contenders next year unless they make some move that we don't foresee right now. And so, is this the first job JJ Redick was? Rob, we talked about, remember Steve Kerr, who did Phil Jackson want? Steve Kerr had his choice of Golden State or the Knicks. If he had gone to the Knicks, his whole legacy as a coach might be completely different.
You know why he didn't go? Do you remember why he didn't go?
He probably knew.
No, I think Marv Albert told him, don't go there. Like, with the organization and what was going on.
Yeah, I remember him saying
something like that. Isn't it Marv Albert?
He had a conversation with Phil. It was somebody, I don't know if it was Marv Albert, but yeah, but he did have a conversation with somebody that woke him up. But I hear you, Rob. This is a tough one because if he doesn't win, he's going to get blamed, just like Darvin Ham did. He really will. Because every coach makes mistakes, Rob.
No doubt.
Every coach and certainly first-time coaches. Those mistakes will be magnified if they don't win. And so I don't see how they're going to win as currently constructed. And so it's almost like inevitably you're going to get blamed and fired. And so is JJ Redick better off? I honestly think, Rob, JJ Redick would be better off going to like kind of a young team that's got some talent, but the expectations aren't as high. He can grow as a coach. He does well and the standard for success isn't as high, so he gets some credit. I don't know that this is the job for him, but hey, if he wants to take it, if he's offered it, more power to him. I think they should offer Sam Cassell. But
I remember listening to Matt Millen, Chris, on television, and
I remember when he was on.
You
ESPN,
remember that, right? He was very good, Chris.
He was good. He was good, and he was horrible in the front office in Detroit.